Good morning, everyone. This is Meredith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine, and we are still on lockdown in New York City. And for some of us, we still have to work from home. We have to use Zoom, such as we are doing right now. But how many of us are grooming ourselves before we get on a Zoom call for work, for play, family, whatever it is? You know, we need a little something that's going to help us. Just give us that little to feel good about ourselves while the world is falling apart outside. So we decided that we were going to call celebrity makeup artist Gregg Brockington.
Hey!
Hey! How are you,
Hey!
Gregg Brockington?
I'm good. Hold on. Do I have to wear my mask?
For social distancing?
Is social distance enough?
You're still sexy. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So
how are you, my love?
I'm wonderful, but what world are we living in now? This is like a sci-fi movie.
It is like nothing I could have ever imagined in my lifetime.
In mine either. So it's really interesting times that we're living in.
Yeah.
So I noticed that, you know, I called you for several reasons. First of all, you and I have history together. We have history.
Yes.
We from the same agency. We shot a lot of stories together, fashion, editorial, campaign,
Yep.
advertisement. We did it all a lot together back in the good old days, you know.
We did.
But there was no social distancing at all. It was all about the gathering, you know.
And there were no cell phones.
Exactly. There was no cell phone, no nothing. We had to be present. We had to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Can you imagine that you actually had to smell the roses as you walk down the road?
Yes, hello. I miss those days in a way.
I know, I do too. So
yeah.
I wanted to call you because I was reading social media and I noticed that a lot of people were having challenges with, first of all, doing their makeup because they still had to work from home. And they were like, oh my God, I have to literally do my own makeup. And then there were other people that just said they didn't want to do their makeup because they were just at home. So you, as an expert, I wanted you to just kind of have this conversation with me. But before we get started in the conversation, I want you to give the public a bit of a background of who you are and, you know, tell us your history in the beauty industry.
Okay. Well, like you said earlier, I'm Gregg Brockington. My Instagram page is Gregg Brockington Makeup. And I have been working in this industry since 1988. No, I'm just saying it. I've been in this game 30 years. So, you know, I was born and raised in New York. I went to Parsons School of Design for college as a fashion design major and a color theory minor, which I'm not even sure they do that anymore. And then during that period, I designed hand-painted fabrics for a company that did work for Seventh Avenue designers. So we hand-painted fabric for Halston, for Ralph Lauren, for Mary McFadden, for Giorgio Santangelo, to go back in the day. And then I left there and I worked as an interior fabrics salesman. So I worked at the D&D building, the design and decorating building on 59th Street and 3rd Avenue, and I sold super high-end interior design fabrics. In the same time, I was young, I was 20, 21, and I was going out every night because the bounce back was so much easier then. And
don't I know
you know what I mean? And so I was doing makeup on myself and my friends would go out and just look amazing. And it was just for fun. I never thought really about being a makeup artist. I knew makeup artists existed in movies. And I think the only working makeup artist that I'd ever known, and I knew him since I was 16, was Byron Barnes, who I love.
The legend.
The legendary Byron Barnes. And so when I started thinking about making the transition from a regular 9 to 5 to start doing makeup, I approached Byron to ask his advice, and he was the one that said, do it. You'll be able to travel to the world, you'll be able to make money, meet lots of people, and you'll love it. And I, at that point, did some testing in New York City. I got a little test book together. I bought a plane ticket. I was only supposed to be there for 3 months, but I wound up moving to Milan, Italy, where my career actually physically started.
What?
And I stayed for a decade, and my career started there. And I was lucky because I was able to get in places that, you know, in the New York City game, I would have been like so behind
Right.
as a choice. In Milan, because I was new and I was American and they liked all that kind of stuff, I got opportunities quickly. So I was able to do a Vogue cover within my first year and a half there.
And how long had you already been doing makeup since when that happened?
I got my first Vogue cover in 1989.
But you started in 1988.
88.
What? A year?
A year, like a year and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, talk about a jump start.
And I mean, it was because I was relentless. I went to the Vogue office, which, you know, at that time you could sort of go to a place and talk to people and like sort of schmooze the receptionist and all that sort of stuff. And I was relentless. I thought, you know, I sort of grew up with the theory that the worst thing anyone can say to me when I'm asking them for something is no.
Right.
Nothing else, nothing worse will happen. They'll say no. And anyone with any determination knows that no is just a maybe.
It's a no right now. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, months. And
I'll see you like in 3 days. And so I basically camped out at their office. I was there all the time. And I was like, please. And finally someone. Are we back?
Yes, we're back now.
Okay, good. So that was kind of how I started. And I was there for nearly a decade. I left there, moved back to New York. And I've been here ever since, and working and doing and loving my work.
Wow, that's amazing. So when at what point did you know, like, you know what, I'm going to take this serious. Now I'm ready to take the big leap and come back to New York City and get an agent. Was having an agent necessary during that time period?
Absolutely. Like, you know, like we said earlier, there was no social media.
Right.
I couldn't promote myself online because that didn't even exist. So I had to come, when I came back to New York, my modus operandi for coming back to New York was to find an agent. And so I did find one fairly quickly, and they represented photographers that did really big jobs as well. So that was kind of like, it can't hurt me to be in that environment. And luckily for me, it was fortunate again that, you know, this option came through because of that agency for a cosmetic company, a skincare cosmetic company out of Paris, I believe, called Lancaster. And they wanted to shoot a campaign, and I was up for the option. And then I heard who the photographer was, and I thought, oh, this will never happen. I was never even near his wheelhouse of people. And the next thing I knew, I got confirmed. And so I find myself.
Photographer, do you remember?
Huh? Oh yeah, I'm getting to it. Oh yeah. So I get to the job and I find myself on a beach in the Hamptons with the hairdresser Odile Gilbert.
Wow.
And the photographer Peter Lindbergh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Peter Lindbergh.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh, my heart.
And I'm telling you, it was an experience. It was an experience that changed my life, in that I've always had this perception that people, when they became famous, were not kind. I'd seen sort of like that lower level of that person who was just awful human beings. And my faith in humanity and my faith in beauty.
Hey, good.
So I was saying, I had this experience with Peter Lindbergh on this shoot, and one of the things that was made really clear is that people can be kind when they're really, really famous. It's the people that aren't quite famous yet that try too hard.
Bingo.
So, you know, I had that experience with Peter Lindbergh, and we worked on that job. It was 2 days. And then the second day, this is where you see kindness and normalcy and all that was over. And this is a testament to how, you know, people that are secure with their fame are. He invited us all back to his room for pizza and beers and to watch the MTV Awards. And was just the nicest, normalest, teddy bearish kind of man I've ever met.
Wow. Wow.
Now, let me say, while I was at Parsons, one of my instructors at Parsons, the illustration teacher at Parsons, was Stephen Meisel.
What?
He was an illustrator before he was a photographer, and he taught me illustration at Parsons.
You're kidding.
The best sketches I've ever done in my life. He scared the piss out of me.
What?
Yeah. He came in, he was like super intense, and he would just have these like really weird East Village models that did this like weird stuff, and it was just fantastic. And he came and stood behind me and screamed at me, "What are you doing? This is fashion. I want to see your hand move." And I was like, "Oh my God." Which is what we did in my life. Thank you, Stephen.
Wow. You have some really great stories with some legendary people.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, I totally, you know, I agree with you on every comment that you made regarding Peter Lindbergh. I had the honor and the pleasure of working with him on several occasions. Thank God to Deirdre from Jump, and thank God for Jenny Capitan, who literally, you know, hey, I want her on set. I want her on set. I want her on set. You know, my manicuring days. And it was just an honor and a pleasure. And I literally remember we were doing a shoot with Peter, and he was shooting, and a very, very, very famous subject was supposed to be shot by him. And he was very particular, and he knew what he wanted, and he was going to tell Peter what to do. And Peter was the gentleman of all gentlemen. He says, "Really? This is what you think? Show me. Here's the camera." That was my Peter Lindbergh story, you know, that he just took life very easy, never overwhelming. So that's what makes our career such a pleasure, and why what we're really missing, it's the exchange of human contact and experiences. And now that we're stuck in a home and without a choice, like we can't
It's not
about
like I want to be home because I don't like people. I have to be at home.
That's a whole different story.
You know?
And I love Meisel. I had an honor of working with him a couple of times. So I'm in awe of you, but it's expected that you would work with great and greater people, you know.
I mean, it's been, you know, in 30 years, if I didn't get to meet some interesting people, it would be like a boring career. Why would I want to do that? So I've had some really interesting and fun and some not so fun experiences during the course of my career. Most of them really good. Almost all of them really good. There's always that one or two things you go, ugh, didn't like that, or like that person very much because they weren't very kind. But generally, you know, I can say 98% of my career has been really pleasant in that way.
And I think that's why it's so important that we all keep working and we share that human exchange and experiences. So bringing us back to my question of, we're a bridal magazine, and so my goal is to encourage my brides not to get discouraged. One, that the doors will be open. You may just have a more intimate wedding. You won't have a big one, but your beauty, your dress, your experience is not going to be taken away. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And so the capability of hiring somebody like you. So for instance, now they can't get a trial, a test with you. Can you do so virtually for them now?
Well, you know, what I would suggest is someone that wants to have me do a trial for them is to contact me, have a prelim phone conversation, phone video conversation, probably on FaceTime or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
So we can connect eye to eye, because I think that's kind of what we're really craving right now. Secondly, so I can also have an idea of who I'm talking to and what I'm talking about. And then it would depend on whether or not the person has products already of their own. If they're that girl that likes some makeup and owns makeup and uses it on her own, or if they're the person that has no idea about makeup and owns almost nothing, but has always relied on someone else doing it for them. What I can do is walk them through the products they have and or the products I suggest they get. And you and I talked about this briefly before, is, there are some really beautiful high-end brands, but now when everyone's stuck at home, the possibilities of going to certain places are changed. You can't go to a department store now and get, the super high-end.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. But you can go to CVS or Walgreens or Duane Reade. And there are some, for drugstore level brands, they have really upped their game so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like CoverGirl's, L'Oreal's True Match foundation has like 45 shades.
I know. Gorgeous. I have the collection of them. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. And amazing.
And for me, who's not a makeup professional, I'm able to use the foundation, find my true match.
Yeah.
And literally feel like it's not too cakey, but it covers up exactly and evens out everything that I need.
And it's lightweight, so it's buildable. And the other thing that I think most women don't understand is when they think of foundation, they think they buy that one color, and that one color is everything. And I did a video for my Instagram page, and I'll plug myself again, Gregg Brockington Makeup.
Perfect. And
it was geared to men who find themselves now having to do video conferencing for work. Right. And, a lot of us work in fashion. A lot of us are subjected to whatever light we have for these calls, like right now. And so I'm sorry?
Your lighting is beautiful.
Thank you, Daylight. And it was a video showing that, when you're in the position where you find the best light for yourself, how do you make yourself, if you discover, well, in this light, although it's the best light in my house, is it the best light for me? And so if it's not, how can I make adjustments? And so when I'm speaking to someone about doing their makeup, especially virtually, I'd have to explain to them that you'd often need, and we often as professionals use more than one color, because no one is just one. Very few people, I should say, are just one color. So there's if someone has, like you have your True Match at home and you have that color that works for you, and what we could do is I could see how that color works for you, and then see if you need a color that goes up or down to round out what we need to do for your virtual wedding, or your super, 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 super intimate wedding. Right. So I think it's just a matter of calling and having, life-to-life conversations with people, sort of helping people have the confidence to do what I would do, because I'm going to guide you into how to put on that eyeliner. I'm not going to, obviously I can't put it on. Right. You have to put it on. Right. But, it's great if you have someone that explains the minutia of the techniques to do it. Right. And that's what I think we can offer at this point through virtual makeup.
Yeah, and I feel like it's really important because like I was telling you earlier, I have the luxury of having a tenant who's a makeup artist who I can say, hey, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you guide me? So it's not about just, oh my God, it's so expensive, I can't afford it. It's a waste of money. No, it's not. If you plan to do your own makeup for the next 2-3 months, I would invest in sessions on how to put my eyeliner, how to buy products, you know, what's going to work for me, what's going to work for my skin, and your recommendations, because you spent, like you said, 30 years in this industry. You must have some knowledge of what products work and cannot work for different people in different skin tones, skin color, and, you know, so on. You're back.
That's the other thing I want to say. Please hydrate. Please drink your water. I have to remind myself all the time, but please, everyone watching, please drink your water.
Right.
The other thing I want to mention
that's the other problem. I mean, that's the other point. I'm glad you brought that up with the water and hydrating.
And taking care of yourself when you're at home.
Right. And that's the thing. You're at home quarantine. This is the time you should be hydrating, prepping your
masks.
Exactly. Exactly. So there is beauty routines that can be done at home. Oh, right. So please tell us some of your favorite products.
Things on the perfect ting from your phone.
So tell us, hold on, we're refroze again. Okay, so please tell us some of your favorite products that's in your beauty case, your beauty kit.
Okay, before I start that, what I wanted to say is what happens with a lot of women is they have been able to go to Sephora or MAC or a department store and have someone do their makeup.
Right.
As opposed to hiring a makeup artist, which I understand. In this period, none of that's happening. So you need to be guided in how you do this. So some of the favorite things in my kit, I am a skincare junkie.
Ooh, I love that.
I love skincare. And I'm fortunate because I'm sent a lot of skincare. I've worked I had a contract with Shiseido for 2 years. Wow. As they're a global makeup artist for them, and you know, had their skincare. And they had, for the acne-prone person, they had a product that I absolutely love that they discontinued, and I don't know why. I'm going to encourage everyone to go online, go on eBay, and see if you can find it.
Right.
And it's from their Pureness line, and it's called Blemish Clearing Gel. I'll put that up there.
Perfect. Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes. Everybody, we promise you, we're going to get all the details from Gregg and put it down in the article we're writing about him. Don't worry about it.
That, I love Estee Lauder products in the sense that they are, you know, they're fairly affordable. They're readily available. Mm-hmm. You can get them online and sent to you. Like I just showed you the Estee Lauder mask I love.
Right.
And they've got night repair and all that sort of stuff. But I discovered from a friend who was a supermodel, actually, Lana Ogilvie. Do you know Lana?
Wow. I haven't heard that name in years.
Lana Ogilvie now has this, a little mini line of skincare products called Lana Ogilvie Cosmetics. And she does a facial serum, a facial oil, and an eye serum. I'll send you the picture after this is over so you can put the picture up. And her products, she gave them to me on a shoot. I've been using them ever since. They are luxurious and not expensive. Mm-hmm. And as a promotion for this video with you, she is doing a 20% discount on her products. And the profits from that discount are going to a charity called donatebeauty.com. And they're a charity that donates beauty products to first responders and hospital workers and nurses and doctors. And so there's a code, it's code DB20. I'll give you all the information, but her line of three products, and they are just luxuriously gorgeous. So I love that. Another skincare brand that I love, love, love is a skincare line called Agave Gold. And it's formulated by a woman named Tiffany Anderson out of Las Vegas. And I met with Tiffany a couple of years ago, and she explained to me why she did these products. She had a really bad bout with cancer. And she went through chemotherapy, and she was able to get her cancer in remission. But what the residue of that is that her immune system was severely damaged by all of that radiation. And so anything she put on her skin that wasn't completely natural would just do her in. And she couldn't have anything that had any kind of toxin. So she couldn't do Botox. That's a pure toxin.
Right.
So she developed this line of cosmetics called Agave Gold. And what she was able to do, you know, fine metals have properties that are beneficial. Like silver does have properties that are beneficial to us. Gold has properties that are beneficial to us. She discovered a way to extract the beneficial properties of gold without the metals of gold, because the metals of those things are what are harmful to us. So she was able to harness out the essence of gold and infuse them in her products, which are organic and natural and gorgeous.
Wow.
I've been using her products almost exclusively for about 2 years, and it changed my skin.
Really? Oh, so you're using it on yourself?
I use everything I ever recommend. I use it first. I would never take a thing to a client that I haven't tried on myself first. In case it doesn't, it has too much fragrance or it has too much something. I want to know before I take it out into the world. Right. I also want to know that if I use something as a moisturizer, if I put makeup on it, it doesn't react and pill. But for Agave Gold, they're also doing a promotion for this video. They're doing 15% off.
Really?
Their entire line.
The entire line?
15% off if you use the code Gregg with 2 G's at the end, Gregg B.
Perfect. We're going to get that, everybody. Yes, worldwide, 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 worldwide. We'll give you guys all the hookup.
This little baby.
The roller?
The roller is just,
the face
it is so good. It has been sitting on my counter here waiting for this. It is still freezing cold. It's rose quartz. It's from Jenny Patinkin. I can never pronounce that name right. And it's the most beautiful rose quartz roller. And I keep it in the refrigerator. In the morning when you wake up and you feel puffy, it helps to drain lymphatic glands. It just wakes the face up, prepares it for all the other things you're going to do for the course of the day. And I love it.
And so that's going to help me with the bags under the eyes that
What it does is it wakens up the blood flow.
Okay.
And so I don't want to ever get the people the impression that you roll this and it will take something away.
No.
Hi.
Hey. So you don't want to give us the impression that...
I don't want to ever give the impression that by using this roller, suddenly your face will be like perfect and flat. That's not how they work. They work in activating blood flow. Right. So if you can activate blood flow to certain parts of your face, it will help.
Yes, you're back. It does.
I'm self-entertaining here. What can I tell you?
So the blood flow, it'll get us.
It helps with the blood flow so that your skin wakes up.
Okay.
And it's great to do in the morning. First thing, I wake up in the morning, and I don't know about other people, but I was told by an auntie of mine who wore makeup every single day. I don't think I ever saw her real skin until she was dying. And that was at 94.
Wow, good life.
And I never saw her real hair until she was, too incapacitated before she died to take care of it. With the most glorious hair. She always wore wigs and always wore makeup. And I said to her, Auntie, how do you take care of your skin? She had absolutely no wrinkles, by the way, at 94. She has some sagging and some, no wrinkles. And I said, what do you do? She says, I take off my makeup every night with cold cream. Every morning when I wake up, I rinse my face for 2 minutes, I think she said, with ice cold water.
Really?
And I have done it
the skin.
Since she said it, and that was over a decade ago. I have done it the first thing I do in the morning is splash my face with a lot of cold water and drink a lot of water.
You look good. Your skin looks flawless.
Thanks.
So you are one of those that doesn't recommend anything that you haven't tried yourself. So you're true to every brand of product that you say, hey, try this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's a foundation that doesn't come in my color, I might not have tried it, but I've tried it out to see how it functions. But skincare, I almost always try it out on myself first.
Okay. What I like about what you just said was that you encourage people to take care of their skin from the inside out, drinking water, taking care of the skin and the body. I have started to take more the older I get. I take vitamins. I make sure I have vitamins to help with my skin, drink water. And I'm really bad about taking off my makeup at night, the laziness, but I'm starting to be very consistent. Honey, we did these things when we were young. We thought we were
Do you see me rolling my eyes at you now?
I know, I saw it.
I'm
ready. I'm ready for it. I knew I was going to get it. That's why I said it.
The thing about that is, though, Meredith, I think if you have built into your life a routine that makes taking care of your skin before bed enjoyable,
yes,
you'll do it.
Yes.
When it's not feeling like a chore, but it feels like you're being luxurious to yourself.
Exact self-care.
Again, that I did another video that is also on my Gregg Brockington makeup page where I talk about my skin. I do a little video showing my skincare.
Right.
And it's like 5 products that I use to do this with. And it literally takes me like a minute to splash it in, swish it on, splash some more, swish it on. It's like 5 different serums and a cream. And I do it because it just makes me feel good before I go to bed.
You're absolutely right. And my pillowcase would love it too, because it's sick and tired of all the makeup that I have on it.
Well, the thing is that, you know, as we get older and our skin changes and our pores get bigger and all that, the better you take care of your skin, both morning and evening, the better it will be for you. I mean, I just turned 60 and I'm putting on every single solitary thing that has been created for skincare. Believe you me, I live in it.
See, I'm learning, and I know Mickey Taylor would definitely be upset to hear that I did not wash my face every single night, as you rolling your eyes at me. So I do have some wonderful products that I use myself too. I have the pleasure of working with Chanel a lot, so they send me the products, and I got the skincare because I'd never tried the skincare, and I got it.
It's great skincare.
Oh my goodness, amazing! And
it's great skincare for someone that's not 20.
Yes, and this is the thing that people, and I you know, in this time of crisis, I don't want to encourage people to spend money they don't have. We know finances are really tight, and I'm not pushing on any specific product for you. I'm telling you my routine. So every morning I make sure clockwork, I wash my face, and I use literally, I don't know if it's the size of this, the tip of this brush, and I wash my face and it gives enough. So for me, luxury products does a couple of things. If it's the right luxury product, it lasts. I've had it for 6 months because you're not overusing anything. So I make sure that I use products that, you know, that I invest in products that are going to last because my budget is tight. So I already feel I would have gotten my money's worth by investing in that good product. My skin is not dry and ashy and tight feeling after I used it. And then I use a moisturizer that they also sent me. And then at the same time, I also do the spray. They have the all over spray that I use, and I use it for my body. It's like, I think it's like a rose water. There's other brands that make that sort of rose water kind of thing. So
what I would suggest though in that process, to do it in reverse, to do the rose water on your skin first, and then seal it in with the moisturizer to hold all that moisture.
Boom.
Certain place. The way we do things is the more liquid things are, the sooner they go on. So I put on a really liquid serum, put that on. I might put in another. Actually, and honestly, I use 3 different serums in a row.
Okay.
Then I put on something that has like a thicker moisturizer on, And then I have a thing from Clarins that is, it's like a tube that has a squeeze pump, and it has two separate barrels.
Right.
One has oil, one has like a cream. So you squeeze it and they come out together and work together. So you've got this oil cream. That goes on last. That helps seal in everything else you've put on your skin.
Perfect.
So you put on moisturizer first.
And then put on
my
rose water.
It's not doing anything. You can't get through your skin because it can't get through the moisturizer.
Boom.
The moisturizer is the last thing. The heaviest is the last.
The heaviest is the last.
And if you're using an oil, it is the last after the moisturizer.
Perfect. Got it. And the other thing I wanted to ask you is, how important is tools? Meaning lash curler, my brushes, and of course I need my little good old tweezer, you know, because to clean up the eyebrows and stuff. Let
me say this about that. Tools are really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
As important as they are, the care of those tools is more important. I know so many women that almost never wash their makeup brushes.
Never? Ever? But
like,
isn't that a breeding ground for bacteria?
Yes, and people don't even realize it. They just think, well, I'm the only person using it. I mean, as a professional, I have to come home and wash my brushes after every job. And I wash them with a disinfectant soap and something to sanitize them and all this sort of stuff, because I'm using my brushes on different people in different days. So they've got to be extremely clean.
Right.
But then I, meet someone in their home for a private lesson, and they talk about the acne they're getting. Right. I'm like, well, what is it? A dietary thing? Is it? Are you prone to acne generally? Not usually. Let me look at your makeup stuff. And they pull out their things. I'm like, oh, you're using that sponge and that brush. Yeah. When's the last time you washed it? There's your problem. If there's you can't remember, that's an issue.
Yes. Yes.
So, for the home person, I wash my brushes every day. For the home person, I would suggest, if you wear makeup every day, every other day, at the very least, once a week.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
And even that, I feel icky saying that, but
you have to have it.
And your tweezers, you have to clean them off with alcohol. All those things, eyeliner pencils, always sharpen them. Once they're sharpened, they're good.
Right.
If you have something with your eye and you're using the same eyeliner pencil, you're just smushing it right back in.
Right.
So cleanliness of your tools is as important as actually having good tools.
So I just received a super cute kit, and I am going to try it from Inca, and I have brushes that I'm going to play around with. And because I noticed when we were getting on, you said, hey, where's your blush? I'm too light-handed because I'm afraid. I'm like, oh my God, it might be too much, but it's better to have a little hint of a color, correct?
Well, on these, when you're in real life, then you could be a little bit more cautious, because you can look at yourself in a mirror in the light you're in and know how it's reading.
Right.
For video, it's coming through some sort of filter and lens. And so, you're in your home and you've got the lights you set up, and you might need to build for the light. And that's when I talked about the video I did about grooming for men. Right. One of the things I said to them is, you are doing the makeup or the correction for yourself in the light that you're in front of the camera that you're in right now.
Right.
Not when you walk into the kitchen, not when you're in your bathroom mirror. You're doing everything you do for this medium. Right. With this light. It's got to look good for this. When I walk into my kitchen, I can look like, a hound dog. It doesn't matter. As long as I look good here. Right. So, the same thing when you're talking about your blush, you're doing your blush for this.
Right.
So if you're looking at this camera, you don't see it, then I can't see it.
Right. See? This is the reason why we need to get some consultations from you. So now I want to wrap it up and just thank you for your time. But can you
Thank you.
oh no, it's my pleasure, and it's an honor just to even be having this conversation with you and all the goodies that you've made available to our readers. Can you tell us how would we be able, hold on, I'm going. So can you please tell us how our readers and viewers would be able to reach you, find you, and get consultation, ask you questions, and book you for future jobs and consultations that they need over Zoom or anywhere else?
Sure. Well, like I said before, my Instagram page, which is what I do most of my social media interaction on, is Gregg Brockington Makeup. You could DM me there.
Okay.
This way we can make a contact. My email is greggbrockington@hotmail.com.
And we're going to provide all of that for you guys, so don't worry.
You can contact me there, and then we can set up something and see where we go from there. Before we go, I wanted to talk about 2 products that I just think are really important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rihanna has done this Fenty Beauty.
Love it.
Cosmetic. I am in awe.
Yeah.
These Fenty Beauty
foundation
concealer, Pro Filter Concealer.
I never tried the concealer. The foundation I love.
The concealer, for every foundation, there's a coordinating concealer. And she has like 50 shades in this range. No matter where you are, you can get it. And the reason I say this, look at it.
I love it. It's right in the palm of your hand.
Stick it right in my pocket.
Easy.
Easy peasy. No, you can take it with you, easy to travel with, don't have to worry about spillage. The other thing is Kevin AUCOIN, his
favorite
concealers. Again, 14 shades that range from like ivory to dark chocolate.
Okay.
And these pots, these freaking little pots, last forever. It's so good. It's so concentrated. You can buy this pot and you can have your makeup. I hate to say it, you can have it for years. So
yeah. And you know what? You just confirmed my point. When you invest in great products, and I mean invest, not knocking anybody that can't afford or chooses not to make those high purchases.
Right.
It's an investment when you go after these brands, because Rihanna, Kevin AUCOIN's company, I had the honor of meeting him before his passing and back in the day.
I assisted him back in the day.
Oh my God, that was a humble man.
You have no idea.
A humble man.
He had hands that were like monstrous. They were just, and I have a big hand. His hands were ginormous.
What?
You could see the finesse of those fingers.
Oh,
was just
he moved like it was a ballet dancer and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's getting these beautifully made products from experts. They were like, I find that people that either were invested into makeup, like Kevin AUCOIN, he was an artist that released a product. Rihanna, I'm sure she saw a problem. There was a lack of products for women of all shades, and she answered a call. You know, so Francois Nars also, you know, he did makeup and said, I want to invest in doing, you know,
Pat McGrath.
Pat McGrath, another one, you know, so.
Who I assisted as well.
See? And so I can think that's really what makes you the expert. It's knowing the stages of how makeup has evolved, and and now you can recommend it in times of crisis such as these.
Well, you know what's really interesting about that is I'm usually the person that does not get into celebrity makeup lines. So when Rihanna came out with her makeup line, I kind of rolled my eyes at it initially. I was like, whatever, stick to music. Now I'm like, I'm so sorry. You freaking killed it.
Riri, you hear this? Gregg Brockington apologized and said,
this thing I bought because some kid at Sephora, nice young man, was like, have you heard of the Fenty? And I was like, yes. He's like, no. And I was like, what? He started showing me products. I was like, oh my God. So I bought several. The other thing she did was everyone makes a translucent powder. We love translucent powder. Her powder is called Invisimatte. And I'm telling you, Murder, when I picked up that powder, that powder compact, and swiped my finger across it, nothing came on that finger.
Really?
I saw nothing.
Okay.
There was no residue of white. There was nothing. The fingertip was matte, but there was no visible product. And I was like, what is this devilishment she's come up with?
Wow.
What is it? And so I recommend that Invisimatte powder. If you don't have it, you need to have it. Okay. It goes on every single skin tone. I've used it on people as dark as a lekwek and as people as white as snow. It is for the world. It is the best translucent pressed powder I've ever used.
Perfect. Wow, we got some really good tips from you today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy quarantining.
Please, you too. Please stay safe, and
I will.
And we can't wait till we're all together again. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Thank you, Mr. Gregg Brockington.
You're so welcome, Ms. McCormick.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I swear to you, this is the genuine, real thing. Please read the full article that we're about to post, and then make sure you follow him on social media, Instagram, Facebook. He's there, his website, any bookings, he has made himself available. And please check out the brand and the products that he just recommended and collect on all those tips and discounts.
And remember that those discounts are also benefiting people on the front line. So please, if you can and you're looking for products, please, I beg you. So thank you, Meredith.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, amore. Ciao, ciao, ciao.